So, Bryce, how does that song go?
Boop 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 doop boop boop.
No, it's beep bop boop boop be doop.
Beep bop beep boop bop boop.
No, that's still not. I think it's called Content Warning. Kids shouldn't be watching this. How does that go?
Oh, it sounds like, hey, if you're not an adult, you shouldn't be listening to this.
That's it.
Yeah.
Let's start this show.
Hey, Derek, have you tried one of those things yet?
What things?
That was one of those things you can get from the stores. One of those like chicken sandwich things you can.
That's not even. The worst part is you said it was going to be funny. It's funny to you. If anything, it's traumatizing to me. My dad's going to hate the shit out of you.
I think is I love your dad. Carl, you're fantastic, and I feel like we will be best friends, and we should hang out without Derek. On that weird note,
that's like what's that movie with Arnold and Danny DeVito, twins?
Yeah,
it's like that.
Yeah.
It's like completely two different opposite motherfuckers.
Yeah.
Bryce, you'd be the equivalent of never mind.
I'm Danny DeVito.
Sure, you can be Danny DeVito.
I think of Danny DeVito and Dwayne The Rock Johnson hang out.
You want to hear something funny?
Sure.
Honestly, they could remake that movie with Dwayne The Rock Johnson and
anybody.
I imagine if
a normal-sized human being.
It'd be Kevin Hart, probably.
That would
probably be Kevin Hart.
It would be 100% be Kevin Hart. Because
Kevin Hart.
I mean, you messed up Dwayne The Rock. This is the flub episode.
Yes, it is. This is the flop.
That's the flub episode. Because we're straight off of recording the last one. And oh boy, my stutter is still here. Mm-hmm.
You want to hear something funny though? You just remind me of saying Carl and Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yeah.
Have you seen the new Terminator yet?
I have not.
Well, this isn't a spoiler.
Okay.
But the best part, one of my things my dad hates is that whenever you see a character named Carl in a TV show, he's either like the nerd or he's getting in trouble or something really fucked up.
Yeah.
Arnold has to go into hiding.
Yeah.
I think I've said this one already before. But anyways, he has to go into hiding as a Terminator after he gets on his job. He can't go back to the future. He doesn't have his DeLorean with him.
Yeah.
Anyways, so he's like, I gotta get a fake identity. So he names himself Carl, and he's like a repairman. And literally, we're in the theater, and I see that, I look over, and I tap him like, you got Arnold playing you now.
That's the same equivalent of like when you're in high school, and you're reading a book, and someone says your name, everyone just looks at you. Like, this is you now. I'm like, I don't want to be this person.
One of my favorite things, I love doing it, especially when because my name's Derek.
Yeah.
It's spelled differently. I love when it's my name spelled correctly.
Yeah.
And one of my biggest things when I was a kid was there's a guy, I don't know what he is. I think he's an executive producer or something. Mm-hmm. He spells his name exactly the same way on SpongeBob. And I'm like, yeah, that's me right there. I made SpongeBob.
See, the equivalent of that for me is there's three famous Bryces. There's Bryce Dallas Howard, the female lead from Jurassic World. She's fantastic. There's Bryce Harper, the baseball player. He's really good. He's apparently like really good at hitting baseballs really far.
All right.
I'm super into baseball. And then there's Bryce, the rapist from 13 Reasons Why.
I've never actually seen 13 Reasons Why. But you know what?
Yeah,
you are in the baseball.
Those are my three, and I hope I'm closest to the actress.
You be the baseball guy, because you want to know why? You're in the baseball, remember? We saw that T-shirt the other day. It was like a math equation, and I didn't get it. And the guy was like, it's a baseball thing. You said it was something about like the bases or like the positions.
He said like, he did this math equation of all the different, like there's how many outfielders, how many people in like the infield and all this other stuff. I'm like, yeah, and there's the two for the pitcher and the catcher.
Yeah, but it was an addition thing. So it was like 4, it was like 3 plus 4 plus something and equals 2. And I'm like, that's not how you math. That shirt's inaccurate.
You're just wrong.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, man. Hey, guys. Welcome to Did You Hear About This? It's a podcast about stories. I am Bryce.
I'm Derek.
Remember, guys, we are not reporters. We're not historians. We're just two guys who like stories. So sometimes we get things wrong, and that's fine. It's okay. It's okay to be wrong, Derek.
I'm always right. What are you talking about?
I'm talking, and you're just like zoning out into the microphone.
I'm a little half awake right now.
Oh, man. We're Flub City over here. You're half awake. I'm being called out because I probably don't know baseball.
You know it enough.
I know what a baseball is.
I got hit with a baseball multiple times.
Do you want to talk about that?
They were once playing baseball in the middle of the city because apparently football was not available at the time.
Okay.
The ball went up. It bounced.
Right.
No, I don't even think they were playing baseball. I think they were just throwing it off the side of a building, off the side of our school building.
Yeah.
Seeing who could get the highest. It bounced off of like the 4th floor window. It got up there.
Yeah.
And I was coming down. I looked up. And I'm like, that's getting closer. That's getting closer. Yeah, I guess it's not my problem. And literally, Bryce, when I say it hit me square, it hit me like here. Like right above the bridge of my nose. And it hurt like a motherfucker.
That reminds me, when I was in elementary school, during recess we would play football. Mm. Me, the most athletic person I participated, and and I my entire time I was there I played like 3 or 4 years. Mm-hmm. We played either like that or kickball or something like that. Whenever we played football, I sucked all the time. I was the worst, and everyone knew that. Mm-hmm. And then there's one time I did something good, and I'm like, because we're playing, I'm like, I'm just gonna run. I'm just gonna run in the hope maybe they'll throw it to me. Mm-hmm. Probably won't because I'm me. I'm just gonna run. So I start running. I look back and I'm like, no one's around me. No one's guarding me because I'm me.
Mm-hmm. They're like, we don't need to worry about him.
Exactly. I'm alone, like 30 feet behind everyone else. I'm like, can they even throw it this far?
If you try hard enough.
They tried. And they did.
Did you catch it?
Yeah.
Yeah! Go Bryce, high five.
I caught it. And I'm like, I have the ball.
What do I do with this thing?
So I caught it. I'm like, oh shit. And I ran. And I'm like, that was the only thing I ever done in any sports stuff. Because I got a touchdown in a game that we just played at recess. And I was so proud of myself. I was good at that. And I was good at when we played kickball. Because I'm a big dude. My legs are strong. Mm-hmm.
Those nice meaty legs.
Yeah. Big, meaty claws.
I was waiting to see if you were going to say legs or claws there.
I was talking to Max. I want that to be the next big meme.
Big meaty claws?
Yeah.
It's already kind of a meme. Anything from SpongeBob season 4 and back is a meme.
Yeah. Before we started the podcast, we were just talking about how we couldn't... Derek remembered a joke from
I remember
SpongeBob.
like 2 jokes and I mixed them.
Yeah, you remember 2 jokes, and I'm like, is it beep boop? I'm like, you talking about when Mr. Krabs wanted to hear a song, so he called the station. They just said the song at each other. He just looked it up real quick. That's the one he played immediately. Yeah,
like, beep boop bob, beep boop beep beep, bob, beep boop bob bob. It's like what?
All right.
The worst part is if you listen, if you follow that episode, that was that song we were listening to.
Yeah,
it does go. Beep boop boop bob boop bob.
Yeah.
Beep boop boop bob boop bob.
Yeah, he was right.
He was.
Hey Derek. So I have one of my favorite stories.
Oh, this is the long one.
Yeah.
This is the Goliath.
Yeah, this is the Goliath. There's a couple stories that I've been wanting to do from the very beginning. Mm-hmm. We hinted at one before. This is the one that I didn't hint at, and I'm excited for it.
Okay.
So Derek, did you hear about this? Did you hear about the New York to Paris auto race?
It's an auto race?
Auto race.
Auto race.
With cars.
How is the question?
Do you want to race?
Sure, we can race.
I'm so excited right now. I'm bouncing in my seat.
Bryce, honestly, when you said, do you want to race, and you started hopping, I was expecting you to run out of the room.
So, the route. I'm going to explain to you how they're going to do this.
Okay.
The route starts in New York City. They're going to drive west across the United States.
Okay.
And into Canada, into Alaska. Then they're going across the...
So it's west, northwest?
Yeah, going to go mostly west until they get to about the Pacific
Montana.
Coast, and then they're going to go up.
Oh, okay.
Then they're going to go across the Bering Strait. Okay. They're going to try to drive if it's frozen. If it's not, they'll find another way. Then the course will lead into Siberia, into Moscow, St. Petersburg, Berlin, and then finish in Paris.
Nothing is better than St. Petersburg.
Yeah.
Do you get that joke?
Yeah.
Do you?
No.
Oh. It's a joke from the Rugrats. When they, in the movie where the monkeys steal the train.
Yeah.
The 2 train conductors are distracted, arguing about who has the best donuts and coffee. And he's like, nothing's better than St. Petersburg. Anyways, continue.
It's a 22,000-mile trek. How would you do it?
So, Do they have like markers they have to go through? I imagine
they have cities.
They have cities they have to hit.
Hit certain cities.
But other than that, it doesn't matter.
Correct. They have to hit. They have to start in New York.
Okay.
They have to hit Chicago.
Okay.
Seattle for sure. I think there's another one in between there. Clearly, because it's from Illinois.
It's around the coast. Yeah, it's coast to coast pretty much.
Yeah, it's coast to coast, and then they have to go up to
probably like Montreal.
Yeah,
probably.
go to Canada and then Alaska, and then go from there. They have to hit St. Petersburg, Moscow.
Nothing
Berlin,
is better than St. Petersburg.
And then finish in Paris.
Okay.
If you had to race, if you had to do this, how would you do it?
Now, is it a foot race or is it a car race?
It's a car race.
It's a car race. Do they have specific cars they have to use, or is it like the Gumball 3000 where you can use whatever the fuck you want, more or less?
It has to, let's put it this way: you have to be able to drive it.
Okay.
And it has to stay on the ground.
It has to stay on the ground.
You have to drive it on the streets.
Now, how does that work when you get to the end of Alaska at that point, is the question.
Well, I'm saying the car has to. Getting the car to certain things, there's some rules. Their idea was to drive across the Bering Strait when it's frozen. If you can't do that, it's okay to put it on a boat and sail it.
Gotcha.
Because everyone's going to have to do that.
Gotcha.
So...
What year is this?
That's the thing. I wanted you to start guessing how you would do it now in 2019.
I can't think of how I would do it now in 2019.
Or if you listen to this in 2020, who knows? It's near the end of the year.
I can't figure out how I would do it in 2019 because there's too much technology.
Yeah.
I imagine whatever year this was, there's not enough technology.
They had very limited options.
So if it was up to me, I would start sending telegrams to people to get whatever marker they need to prove that I was in that city.
Yeah.
And have everybody meet in one fucking spot.
So
you didn't even have to go through those cities. Like I would just drive straight across and then go with Paris and be like, okay, everybody meet here in like a day. Get on a plane and come over here. Okay. Like in other words, I would cheat to the most, as much as I could to make sure I didn't have to drive this piece of shit race. Because this is going to take a couple days, maybe weeks
longer.
Because
do you know how long the race is supposed to take?
I want to know what time it takes place.
So it's supposed to take 6 months.
So it's like the 1940s or something?
Earlier.
The 1920s.
The race starts on February 12th, 1908.
So pretty much there's only like 3 cars available on Earth.
There is a very limited amount of cars.
And 2 of them crashed in Ohio.
Fuel is very limited.
There's not gas stations for miles.
Yep. They have
to. You need to get another car to drive out to you to give you gas.
In order to refuel, a lot of the times they had to go get the fuel by foot and bring it in buckets. Because there's nothing to carry fuel at this time. Because nothing has fuel.
Who the fuck thought of this race? This is a horrible race.
Their winning prize was a big trophy and like several thousands of dollars, which in 1908 money was a lot.
I imagine with inflation, that's a couple million.
Yeah.
Probably at this point.
Yeah. So.
But also at this point, it wouldn't be that much. It wouldn't be that hard to do. I wonder how long it would take in 2020 to do this.
I don't know. You want to go through the race? Because oh boy,
I imagine
so much fun.
Then why did you make me wait here and try and do some guesswork?
Because I want you to get in the mindset of like, all right, it's time to race.
It's 1908. If I'm getting in the mindset, I'm in a field. Actually, no. I'm pretty light skinned. I'm in a house. I'm cleaning spoons.
All right, so, sorry. That was a weird pause there. I was taking a drink. So, the race starts in New York City, February 12th, 1908. There are 17 men, 6 cars.
Oh, so this is okay, I was thinking like a 2-2, like a one person race.
It's 6 cars.
6 cars. Wait, how many people?
17 people total.
In 6 cars?
Yeah, they're packed.
6, 12... So there's an odd amount of people in each car?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, some people have... Because they're some representing different countries. Mm-hmm. There's 3 from France, and 1 each from Germany, Italy, and the U.S.
Okay, so it's 6 cars.
Yes.
All together.
Why
does France need to try and fucking boost their numbers? They're like, one of us will win.
So I think it's
like when you buy a million lottery tickets. It's like one of them's got to hit.
I think the officiates are like in a treaty between all the countries, and then France is the host of it. So it's going to end in France. So I think that's why.
It's my
It's the only
thing.
one-
I get to make the rules. I get 3 cars. Do we all get 3 cars? No. You get 1.
I just realized that it goes of all the countries that are participating, it doesn't go through Italy.
Oh yeah, it doesn't.
They're in the disadvantage this entire race.
Well, okay. In 1908, how good was people's translations at the time? So I imagine Italians and the French, like, once they got over towards Europe, they probably did phenomenal.
Yeah.
In America, they were probably, maybe not the Italians. Italians are known for speaking English.
Well, there's also where U.S. is all immigrants anyways.
At this point, yeah.
So there's not people speaking Italian and German
Stuff like
and stuff
that.
like that.
Now, it depend, once you get to, like, the middle of America, I dare you to try and find an Italian that speaks Italian.
Okay, so these cars have just super cool names.
They better be... Okay, never mind.
The French, I'm going to go through each one and see what the car is and some like people that are in it. They're notable. Mm-hmm. The French is called the Dion Boten. I'm going to call it the D Dion the entire time because it's called the D Dion. It's features Saint Chaffrey as the driver and Hansen as the captain. So they have different positions to help go. I think Hansen.
In other words, if the car breaks down, you're pushing.
Yeah.
I'll steer.
Yes, that's the very thing that happens a lot. Because 1908, cars aren't good.
No.
There's also the French Motoblock. It's Goddard as the driver. And there's the French César Nadine. I think I should pronounce it perfectly. I've been trying.
I'll challenge that.
I've been trying like all day to get that right. It's the Italian Zust, featuring the driver Cercini.
I want the Zust to win.
Zust,
because I don't know what that word means, but I love it.
It's the German Protos. It's featuring the captain Koppen. And the American Thomas Flyer.
Boo! America couldn't think of anything better than that.
And the famous driver Monty Roberts and the engineer George Schuster.
Go Zust!
Go Zust!
Were there people at the beginning of the race with signs like, yeah?
Yeah, I saw pictures of it.
They have pictures from 1908 that survived.
Yeah.
I'm surprised.
There's a lot of pictures. This is a big thing. This is like, you're driving across every country you can.
You know what the worst part is? Like, back in the day, when football and stuff like that started.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't on TV, you had to wait like days to see what the score was.
Yeah.
This is one of those things where you get hyped up like the race starts, and you wouldn't hear about it till probably 9 months, maybe next year. You wouldn't hear anything about it because, fuck, that's a lot of commitment. That means you got to stay hyped.
Yeah. So this, like I said earlier, the race was estimated to take about 6 months. Mm-hmm. So they're all lined up at the starting line. It's February.
I got it, Bryce.
What?
They have not only duplicate cars, they have twins who are already in France. They're like, yeah, we made it. France is #1.
That would be really smart. But everyone's like, because everyone's being watched. Because every country knows, every participating country, every country driving through knows, everyone's watching. It's like, all right, can't fuck up now, can we?
I got $15 on the Zust to win.
Zust. All right, I'll bet. I know the ending, so I can't.
You can't bet. I want the Zust to win.
So to start the race, this was Mayor George B. McClellan Jr., the son of the Union Civil War general, was planned to fire a starting pistol, but he was characteristically late, like very late. So
his car broke down.
So
they actually used his car because they didn't have enough cars for the race. So he had to walk. That's why he was late.
I tried to make it, but my car is in the race. Yeah. So they were tired of waiting, so a road financier just snatched the gun off the table and fired it in the air to start the race.
It's just like people are like, yeah. They're sitting there. Yeah. These guys, fuck this.
He just takes the gun, he shoots it in the air. It was a golden gun. He shoots it in the air. He probably took the gun because it's a golden gun from that race.
It probably wasn't real gold. Hopefully,
yeah, you're right, but it was probably painted.
Yeah, it's a very flashy gun.
So it's the den of winter, right? In 1908, no global warming yet.
It's cold.
It's cold. The roads through
I'm
Auburn.
surprised the cars turn on.
The road to Auburn was at this point called the worst road in the United States. And oh boy, I lived up to that expectation. They had to drive through a foot of snow in 1908.
Fuck.
So I read that Schuster, a part of the American one, you go out in front of the car with like a ruler to measure how deep it is.
Why does Schuster sound so familiar to me?
I don't know. Maybe you heard the story like in like Distance.
Schuster.
I don't know.
Anyways, continue.
It's a pretty common name.
Not as common as the Zust.
Zust.
It didn't need to worry about the snow. It zusted through, bitches. The Zust is on the case. Who's driving the Zust? Which team was that?
The Italians.
Oh, I'm really voting for him now. That's an underdog story.
Satori is the name of the driver.
Zatori and the Zust.
Yes, the Zust.
Why do I feel like they just took everybody's first initials and that's how they spelled this fucking car?
Probably. I'm using everyone's mostly their last names because everyone has complicated names, and I want to start with the story, not the names.
All right, fine.
So, because it's so deep, and oh boy, they start in the middle of winter, and they don't really have snow plows. They're always going through like a single file line through the snow.
And the race is on, and whoever was in the lead, he's still in the lead.
It's been
6
days, and
he's still in the lead. They're in like a hot air balloon. Like, who are you talking to? We don't have radios yet.
So, 96 miles into the race, out of this 22,000-mile race, Suzuki Newton broke down. It broke its axle and it had to drop out.
Oh, wait, which one was that?
The Serge Newton.
That's a German.
That's one of the French.
Oh, one of the French. Okay.
Yeah. So
fine. They don't need 3 cars.
We're down to 5.
We're down to 5 cars, and it just began.
You're gonna get super hyped. The Deaton, the Thomas Flyer, and the Zust took an early lead. They're in the lead, followed by the Protos and the Motoblock.
The Motoblock is Germany.
Motoblock is that's French.
Really?
German is Protos.
Protos and the Zust. I want Protos to come in 3rd, and I want the Americans to come in 2nd. even though their car has a horrible name. Zust.
I'm so excited for this. Okay, so they're in single fire line for most of the time.
Yep. Why start it in the fucking winter if that's the case?
Because they need to be frozen to get across to Alaska. From Alaska to Russia, they had to be frozen to drive across. So they start in winter, so it'll be frozen by the time they get there.
You know, I know this is because it's in 08.
Yeah.
1908.
Yeah.
That still sounds like the stupidest plan in the world that somebody went, wait, how are they going to get across? They're like, oh, well, the ice will be frozen. They could just drive across. Somebody's going to fall through this ice, aren't they?
Let's keep going the story. The cars had an agreement to work together to make it through the rough snow, but that quickly fell apart because nobody trusted anybody. Like, you could drive in the middle of the night. Everyone stops at night to like fix their cars and stuff because it's 1908. So they had stopped. They did like 15 hours of driving. Stop, fix the cars, rest, start in the morning. Everyone did this.
Are there rules? Do you have to stop at night?
There's rules, but how the cars work, they kind of have to fix them every day.
Okay, but do you have to stop at night?
You don't have to, but there's a limited amount of people, and usually somebody was designated. I'm the person that fixes cars. I don't drive, and the driver's always like the leader. Like, I'm the only one driving, and I need to sleep.
Oh, gotcha.
Because of a blizzard, it took 8 days to reach Chicago. The teams were supposed to reach Cheyenne, Wyoming on March 6th. Only the Thomas Flyer was on time. Everyone else was late.
It's not like Americans to be on time for anything.
So at March 6th, we already have a good reach of like where everyone is. It's a pretty... They space themselves out.
One fucking broke down. They got spaced out the most.
Yeah, that one's out. We're down to 5 cars.
Yeah, I know. He still lost, though. You're a loser. You should feel bad because you're a loser.
So Monty Roberts, the driver of the Americans, he wanted to join the Grand Prix in Paris. That's happening in like a couple of months. So he can't finish the race. I'm like, I got you this far. I'm just gonna dip.
You got this, right?
We have this guy. His name is Harold Brinker. He'll drive to San Francisco. Then Schuster can take over and go to like Russia and everything.
I'm gonna go race where it's fun.
Yeah, I'm gonna race. I race the fun parts here in America. I'm gonna go to Paris already and be in Paris. So I'll meet you in Paris.
That seems sketchy.
Yeah,
that seems really fucking sketchy.
So then Harold Brinker took over as the driver to reach San Francisco. 2 days later, the Thomas Flyer was in Julesburg, Colorado. They had an extra person. They gained a person.
How? Like a hitchhiker?
The Didon got stuck in a particularly bad snowdrift. Hansen, the Arctic expert, failed to get the car out, which led to him and the driver, St. Joffrey, to get a big argument that they eventually challenged each other to a duel. But they couldn't find their guns.
That's a fair reason not to have one.
So St. Joffrey just fired him. You're fired. So Hanson's like, he was Norwegian. He's not
part of our crew.
He's not part of any crew. Really.
Yeah,
He's
exactly.
Like, you know what? He's like, you know what? America should win.
Yeah, exactly.
So he got on the American side.
Go America! He gets in. He has like a little flag and like he has a shirt of a Statue of Liberty, even though I don't think it existed yet.
So I pictured him like sitting there's like arm crossed, like I'll be in the fucking American team.
Yeah, America.
America's
fine.
Because during this time, we're still in America, so and everyone knows about this. So it kind of everyone's giving free shit to the America team to help them out.
Of course.
But everyone else has to pay like huge amounts or beg to get like, can we get some water, please?
Except for the Zust.
The Zust.
Because they respect the fire and the power of the Zust.
Their car is running off of spaghetti sauce.
Yeah, exactly. They're just a bunch of fucking stereotypes. Like, hey, can I get some gas, please?
The wheels are meatballs.
Yeah, exactly. They're driving a big baguette.
So the next bit is where everyone is, while the Thomas Fire was leaving Wyoming in the lead, they're headed by 2 states. With the Italians were making their way across Nebraska.
In the Zust.
Zust is coming in
baby.
Second.
It's coming.
D-Don was in Iowa.
You ready to get Zusted? Sorry, continue.
The D-Don was stuck in Iowa. He was waiting for new parts.
Man, if you want to be stuck somewhere, Iowa is not it.
Speaking of Iowa, Protos and Motoblock are just now entering Iowa.
Damn.
So everyone is far behind the Americans at this point. Like 2 states. It's distance.
Honestly, not to be rude, that's not the furthest you can be in a 22. How long did you say this was?
22,000 miles.
22,000 mile race.
Yes, they're still in America.
It's not much of an advance. I could see if they were in Canada by now. I'd be like,
So the Motoblock, it's in last because it's having some mechanical issues.
Yep.
The driver, Goddard, is getting kind of desperate. So he's like, you know what? I know it's against the rules. There's a train here that goes to San Francisco.
Yeah.
Let's just put it on the train.
No one's going to know.
No one's going to know.
It's the 08. It's 1908. Who the fuck's going to find out?
You know who found out? A nearby photographer who took a picture of them trying to do it.
Well, not the rude. That's the press. It's going to take at least 3 months for that shit to get out. They got time.
You would think. So they got caught. I'm like, all right, fine. We're not going to do it because you took a picture of us. We're just going to take the car off and we drive. Took the car off and started driving.
And these are the French?
This is Goddard, the Motoblock. Motoblock is French.
The French. Okay. Of course they gave up. If it was the Germans, they were like, oh, you're going to delete that photo, right? Like, it doesn't work that way. Yes, it does. And they just smash it on the fucking ground and walk away. So
shortly after, Goddard received a cable from the owners of the car saying, quit race, sell car, come home.
So we've already lost 2 French people.
Motoblock is out. We're down 4 cars.
It's now a fair fight between French, the Germans, the Italians, America.
I don't know where you're going to go with that, so I was waiting. When the Thomas Flyer reached San Francisco, Brinker was out. Because there's a contractor who wanted to go. He wanted to stay with the car. He's like, I want to stay. But the new driver, Schuster, who's been there from New York, he's like, no. I've worked too fucking hard on this entire trip. Mm-hmm. It's my time to shine. Because he's
not even done yet, though.
Yeah, because he's like, I'm taking the rest of the way. This is my ship.
For like the next 3 months, you're going to take it the rest of the way.
Yeah. On April 8th, Thomas Flyer reached Alaskan soil. Schuster investigated the Valdez Fairbanks Trail, and the only trail to take them all the way across Alaska. What's up?
I have a question.
Okay.
Did we own Alaska yet at this point?
Yes.
Okay, just making sure. We haven't gotten Hawaii yet, though, have we? Okay.
So there's only one trail to get away across Alaska. And he concluded that the only way to get the cars across the trail is to dismantle them and take them across with dog sled.
So that's reasonable.
So he goes to the proposing race committee like, what the fuck do you want me to do? So they were in charge of the race. They abandoned the idea of Alaska. They're like, you know what? Americans, go back down to Seattle. When you get there, take a ship to Vladivostok, which is in Russia, and we'll go from the race from there.
Okay.
He's like, all right, I have to drive back down to Seattle now. Which, while they're making their way back down to Seattle, the other cars made it to Seattle and were already sailing to Russia.
Oh, they didn't even go up that way.
So
you want to know why? Because the Zust is smarter.
Because
they're 2 steps ahead. The Zust is on the way.
They were told not to do it because by the committee, like, yeah, don't go to Alaska. So they're like, all right, we won't go to Alaska. So they went to Seattle and then sailed to Russia. So the Americans were the first ones to reach the West Coast, but the last ones to leave. And also they were having trouble with like their visas to Russia. And it was almost like a couple weeks for them to leave to go to Russia. So because of that, the committee was like, all right, the Americans, because of the complications that we didn't see, this is kind of our fault, not really the Americans. We're going to give them a 15-day allowance.
Okay.
So
they cut 15 days off from what their final time was.
Yes.
Gotcha.
Also, the Protos, the German one.
Yep.
I'm
remembering now because there's only 4 cars.
They were penalized 15 days because there was miscommunication about how to get to Seattle, and they shipped the car there because they took a train.
Oh, they got on a train?
Yeah. It was like, oh, they just want to get to Seattle. All right, we'll go to Seattle. So like they got on the train. And they're like, oh, you wanted us to drive to Seattle.
Like, nobody said we had to drive.
So they were like, we won't kick you out. We're going to penalize you because you're not supposed to do that. But just don't do that again.
Well, 15 months added on top of like 15 days added on top of 6 months.
Yeah.
That's not much of a penalty. That's an okay penalty.
Yeah, so it wasn't bad on that. So by the time the teams reached Russia, the Russian government warned the drivers not to drive through Russia. They said, take the train. Otherwise, you're not going to make it. They told them
some shit going down in Russia, I'm guessing?
They're like, the winters are terrible. We know that from World War I, II, all of them. The winters are terrible. You're not going to make it. Take the train. And the drivers are like, they were like, let's wait for everyone to get here. So yeah, everyone meet up again.
So they pretty much could have started the race from there.
Yeah, so they met up again. Well, they got rid of those cars. And everyone's like, all right, when we equal footing again, we have to do this together and make it through this. Because they're like, if we go on the train, we're done. Now, everyone is on the same page now. If we're on the train, we're done. We have to drive.
Oh, God. The Russian weather.
So together, like, we're going to drive together.
This isn't even a race. This is just a fucking convoy at this point.
Yeah, but So the night before the cars started again, Schuster was searching around for gasoline, which in Siberia,
not a lot of gasoline there.
Especially when this time of years,
it probably would freeze at that point.
Yeah, this time of year, frozen. Also, there's just no gasoline in Siberia because cars aren't a big thing.
Who planned this race? This is a horrible race.
When you get back to the hotel room, there was a note from St. Joffrey of the Didon. He went and met with him and found the Italian team there. And St. Joffrey said, there's no petrol in Siberia. What there was is in my possession. I will offer it to whoever will let me board their car.
So wait, so what was he offering?
Gasoline.
He's offering gasoline.
He's like, there's none in Siberia. I have it.
Okay. In exchange for...
I get to be in your car. Because he thinks he can't make it. So he's like, let me on your car, and I'll let you have the gasoline. Okay. The Italians, I told them to fuck off and left immediately.
Because the Zust doesn't need anybody's help. The Zust is above begging for gas. The Zust knows all.
The Americans also refused.
That sounds very fair.
Neither of them took the bribe, and St. Joffrey eventually relinquished the gas to the Italian team. After his sponsor...
To the Italians?
Yeah, because after his sponsor heard about the attempted bribe and pulled him out of the race.
Damn.
The French are out.
The French are out completely. The race ends in France, and the Zust is on the move.
There's 3 cars left. The Germans, the Protos, the Italians, the Zust, and the Thomas Flyer.
The Thomas Flyer, which ain't flying very much because it got no gas, bitch. You know who does have gas?
The Zust.
Just so everybody knows, every time I say that, I do like a running animation in this fucking room.
His arm like goes like he's running, but he's sitting in this chair not moving. His arm's going so fast, his body is not moving.
It's gonna fly off and go out of nowhere.
Oh god!
I'm gonna get a tattoo of the Zust on my back.
Zust.
It's gonna be an old fucking car with a bunch of Italians in it.
So the tundra that is Siberia was very difficult. A quote from some accounts were sometimes their progress was measured in feet, not in miles.
Damn.
By the time...
You might as well just push it at that point.
So, at one point in Russia, the Protos was leading. But the Americans were like, no, we have the faster car. We're going to overtake you. So as the Thomas Flyer passed the Protos, the German car got stuck in mud. Like immediately. So Schuster stopped his car, attached Protos with some hooks, and pulled him out.
That's very...
And then, but they both stopped, and they had champagne over it. Like, yeah, we're not trying to kill each other here.
That's good teamwork right there. That's sportsmanship.
And you're like, come on, Zust.
Yeah, exactly. I'm over here.
Fuck 'em both.
I'm just sitting here. I'm sitting in the back like, Zust. I got like my own like pennant flags.
So it's time, man. Because once they reach Russia, the driving is much easier. Because remember, most of these cars come from Europe.
Russia.
Reach Europe. Sorry. When they reach Europe, it's much easier. Because all the cars are from Europe. There's more cars there. They have roads.
They're very dignified.
The race, and we're at the end of the race.
Oh, okay.
Because it goes once it's Europe, it goes very fast.
Okay.
Because everyone's flying. It's an actual race.
They found gas.
Yeah.
Come on, Zust.
The first car reached Paris at 6:15 p.m. on July 26th. The Protos.
Oh, but they got a penalty.
They got a penalty.
All right.
The Thomas Flyer reached Paris on the evening of July 30th.
And they got a bonus
at 4 days later. So shortly after reaching Paris,
I would like to note, no matter what you say, Bryce,
yeah,
I'm happy because the German, the Americans, and the fucking Italians,
yeah,
those are the three I want to win. They might not be in the order I want,
yeah,
but fuck the French.
So shortly after reaching Paris, a police officer stopped the American car.
Okay.
He told Schuster he was under arrest because there's no lights on the car. He just drove 22,000 miles to get arrested because he didn't have lights.
Even back in 1908, police officers are still assholes. I'm going to get it fixed. I'm driving to the store right now to get a new light.
So, like, a bunch of, like, nearby watchers, like, no, he just raced 6 months to get here, and you're arresting him. He's like, no, the law's the law. You need to have lights. So a guy on his bike nearby took his light off his bike and shoved it into the car. He's like, is that good? And the cop's like, that'll do.
Yeah,
and he let him go.
That's good enough for me.
So after all the penalties on the Protos and the allowance of the Americans, the Thomas Flyer was announced as a winner.
Oh.
And George Schuster was the only American that started the race and finished the race.
What position did the Zust come in?
Well, the Zust would have came in third.
Oh.
Because the Protos would have been
15 days, though.
Yeah, they were kind of behind.
How did the Zust fall so far behind?
I don't know, man. Europe is a big place.
The power of the... You want to know why? Because it was unfair from the start. Italians don't know German, French, or America.
They started... For some reason, they made their wheels out of meatballs. So maybe they... They have spaghetti as their drive track.
I want to recount. The power of the Zust won.
Honestly, man, I was doing research on this. I didn't see where the Zust came in. I'm going to look it up right now.
I bet you it's a fucking cover-up. It's between the French and the Americans. That's why the French gave the Americans that stupid statue. The Zust won.
Oh my gosh. I'm surprised. When you say that, I'm like, I didn't see anything with the Zust at the end.
They were erased from history.
It just focused on the two cars. They didn't say anything about the Zust. Oh my gosh, I'm really bothered by it now. There's 3 cars, but you didn't tell me what happened to the third one. Did they all die?
The Italians got killed by the French. That explains the world wars. No.
That explains the world wars.
Even though I think they already happened. No, they didn't. They didn't happen yet.
Yeah, I don't know what happened to them. They're still driving to this very day.
It's a ghost story, and if you listen close enough, you can hear it. It's like Italian horn every time they click it. I don't know the Italian
I'm gonna tell you,
national
man,
anthem.
I'm gonna look
is.
this up. I'm gonna search Zust.
It just plays the Super Mario theme every time they hit it. Every time they hit the horn.
See, I usually use, not gonna lie, when I do a lot of stuff, I use Wikipedia.
Obviously, I have a feeling.
But for this one, I didn't. Because the Wikipedia is very short on this. I'm like, there's so much things that happen, you're not telling me everything. So I went to like a bunch of other ones.
Damn, that's an old.
The Italians arrived later in September.
What happened?
They arrived in September. Everyone else arrived in July.
Damn, they were really late.
Yeah.
How did they run so late?
I don't know.
Did they get distracted by something? They had all the women they had to fuck in the Zust, that Italian charm.
Oh my god.
Oh, fuck yeah! That's the coolest fucking car in the world! Yeah!
I found a picture of the Zust. Turns out the Zust that has a umlaut over the U makes it 100 times cooler.
The Zust is the baddest fucking car in the world.
It's got like, it's bright red. The Zust, so it's bright red on the grill. What would we grill? It's like silver, and it has the Zust written on it in bright red again. And it's the trimmings are gold. It looks like a fire truck.
This car was made for style. This was not winning a fucking race. They wanted to show the fuck off.
The thing is, they compared to everyone else,
they got third.
They did it.
They did it.
The
They
French
finished.
couldn't do it. Everything I looked up was like the Thomas Fire with the they rightfully won because the argument was like they went out of their way to Alaska and they were forced behind. If they would have sailed across, we wouldn't have an issue.
All's fair in love and Zust.
And then the Protos got ahead because of the train thing. If they wouldn't have taken the train, they wouldn't have.
They should have disqualified the Proto, and the Zust should at least came in second.
So there's the Thomas Flyer.
It doesn't look anything near as cool as the Zust.
No, it doesn't.
It looks like Coelho DeVille's fucking car.
It looks it's very flat.
That thing is not aerodynamic at all. Look at all these fucking hats.
Yeah,
look at these tall ass like bowler hats.
Yeah.
You can tell this is 1908. Everybody looks so fucking serious. Look at this. Except that guy. That guy looks like he's smiling.
I think I saw this picture before. I think that's Monty. I think that's Schuster.
Schuster is a no-nonsense man with a no-nonsense mustache. That dude looks fucking serious.
I'm going to try to find more pictures for you. I love this story so much.
This is a stupid story. And it's unfair to
on
the
my
Zust
argument, the Protos look super cool, too.
Maybe if it was in color. I want to know what color that is. Look at all this. Why back in the day, whenever you see something from like back like in the 1908s like this, why is everybody wearing a hat?
Because it was the fashion at the time. Everyone wore hats.
I just think it's so weird. Like, there gotta be one guy in there who's like, I don't like hats. I'm not a hat guy. When was the first I'm not a hat guy? When did that come around?
1909. Okay, here's a Thomas Flyer. Now it's colored. It's not as cool.
It's like a gray.
Yeah, it's very silver.
Like powerhouse. Yeah, like a gray silver.
The design on the side makes it look like a plane at the time.
Yeah.
Which is, I think, looks cool.
And of course, it has to have an American flag on the back.
Yeah.
I like the seats. What the fuck? What's this?
That's just a show of like how the cars were at the
time.
Okay. So I'm looking at Google Images right now. There's the Zust again.
The Zust!
There's another picture.
The power of the Zust has no limits.
What type of car is it? It's a Fust.
Is that how you say that word?
It's an umlaut over the U, too.
Oh, that's funny.
What? Hold on. So we're just looking at pictures right now. Is that the Flyer?
That's the Flyer. That's the Tom Flyer, and that's the Zust.
Yeah.
Find the German one. What's the fuck's the name of the German one?
The Protos.
The Protos. Look for the Protos.
All right. While I'm looking this up, so I'm just going to go over the last little bit before we go into this. So they were, like I said, George was the only one to make it to the beginning to the end. Like, he was the American guy.
Is that just on the American team, or is that in period?
I believe, well, the drivers stayed mostly the same, but because their driver kept changing, and they think, fuck it, I'll do it, because I'm going to be here anyways. So, he's the most well-known one from this race in general.
That you want to know why?
Why?
Because he's a fucking glory hog. The team of the Zust work as a group.
I'm gonna shit on your parade.
Okay, what happened? Don't tell me you died 3 days later.
No, Schuster insisted that Monty Roberts get presented as a driver.
Really?
He's like, no, Monty's more famous. It's a bigger name. I'm just a guy who works at a factory.
Oh.
So after the race, Schuster returned to work at the factory. He worked at the Thomas factory where he was promised employment for as long as the company was in business.
So that means he didn't have to do shit there.
Well, yeah, 5 years later, the company went out of business.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah, he did such an amazing job in this race, and just like, he got very little out of it.
You know what the worst part is? When he was leaving the factory, he was the last guy out. They closed the doors behind him. There was a puddle on the ground. The Zust came by and hit the puddle. It splashed him.
I was like, I finally made it to Paris.
Yeah.
Turns out, I thought it was time for snacks first. I'll only find pictures of the Zust. I think it's the most cool design one. I think it's the one that survived the most, too.
But I imagine probably the German one fell apart
so
at some point.
Here's all the pictures of... I'm pulling the pictures of all of the cars.
It's like a group shot.
Yeah.
It's in black and white, though. That's the worst part.
Yeah, well, at the time, that's all they had. The ones you saw of the Zust were of today. So
the Porta's got like a fucking private section on the back of it, I think.
Yeah, I think they have like storage for like extra gasoline and stuff. So
at least they thought
that
ahead.
one broke down to me. This is the first one that broke down.
The wheels are off of it.
Yeah.
I think it looks like they're slanted.
Yeah, the rear axle was the one that broke too. So whatever's in the... Does it say Michelin tires on the side? It says Michelin tires. You sponsored the wrong car.
Wow. Fast.
Yeah.
That's not a good sponsorship at all.
The Motoblock was the one that tried to cheat, right?
Mm-hmm. I believe so.
Yeah, that one looks... You can kind of see that one.
And this is the one that
the guy
offered the gas, right?
Yeah. So that one, the car wasn't the issue. The driver was the issue. Because he was also the one that... tried to have a duel with that guy. So, yeah, generally the driver of that one was just the Dion.
I would like to imagine that the Zust came in second because it's the second picture.
I think this is not the order because it's...
Shh, Bryce.
But
shh. The Zust lives on.
I'm gonna make you a shirt that just says Zust.
The Zust.
It just says Zust on it.
No, you know what the worst part is? I'm gonna wear that. There'll be one motherfucker in the out of nowhere, some Italian. Yeah, the Zust.
It's like, I was there. What?
Well, yeah, exactly. Like, how old are you? He's a fucking 200-year-old.
Oh gosh.
Fuck, he's older than 200 at this point.
Let me trying to find more pictures of the Zust. You wanted the Protos, didn't you?
Yeah, the Protos was the one I was curious about. We already seen how cool the Zust was. That's a chick magnet. That's almost Grease Lightning.
That's Grease Lightning.
Grease Lightning right there.
Thomas Flyer.
That's Thomas Flyer. What's that one? That one's not Thomas Flyer.
That's Thomas Flyer.
Is it? You sure? It's black.
Thomas Flyer.
Okay.
It's named after that. I don't know.
Huh. It's a fucking milk truck.
Is that it? Protos Berlin.
Oh yeah, because it has a little cubby hole in the back. I would like to note that the German one is the only one that actually has a top on it. All the other ones are uncovered.
Yeah.
The Germans thought through. They're like, it's gonna be cold.
Yeah. So they actually had like a place for them to sit.
Okay, I like that.
Which is why it kind of explains how they got there first. Because we're more comfortable.
Yeah, exactly. They keep going.
If you look at the Thomas Flyer, it's like it's just all open.
yeah, literally. Not only that, but the seats are elevated too.
The seats just look like chairs you'd find in a house.
They're like antique grandma chairs.
Well, this time it's just normal chairs.
Yeah.
There's Schuster's lunchbox.
So the Thomas Flyer pretty much froze to death. The Germans had a cover to protect them. They stay a little warm. And the pure power and heat of the Zust.
We had the spicy Italian sauce in our veins.
They didn't need anything. The ice melted around them.
Hey, man, we've talked so much about this. It's almost 48 minutes already.
All right, well.
You want to do it forward, man?
That's up to you. We can run it out.
We can save those.
That's fine. If you want to do that.
I really wanted to do this one. We're just talking about
the crime things.
Yeah, let's go back to some crime blotter stuff. But I'm so just hyped. I got to tell this story.
This is a fun story.
There's certain stories I just love to tell, and there's one of those.
I am Bryce. I always say I wanted to get a tattoo, and I don't know what to get. Yeah. It's gonna be a fucking Zust.
Just the word Zust.
Zust. But it's gonna be one of those awkwardly big ones across my chest.
Nice. That's great. That's gross and great, and I love it. Before I go into this, I will do some house cleaning now.
That's fine. That's fine.
Let's take a moment to thank Young Walnut for letting us use his music for intro and outro. You can find him on YouTube and SoundCloud. He is fantastic. I'm also part of his Discord. I haven't said that before. I'm a part of his Discord. He's pretty cool. I talked to him a bit. Also, if you want to follow us on Twitter, we are at DYHAT Podcast. That's DYHAT Podcast. We tweet about the show every week. We also tweet memes and at Zac Efron. You can also email us at diehatpodcast@gmail.com. You can email us or tweet at us stories you want us to cover. You want us to cover this? I can go in more detail probably. This is like 2 days worth of research. I could probably do more research and find out more fun stuff.
Bryce, can you... I know this is the cleanup thing, so you have this, like, memorized.
Yeah.
Can we start cutting the Zac Efron bit out?
I want Zac Efron to tweet at me.
Leave Zac alone. He has a hard enough life.
Leave Brittany alone.
Leave Brittany alone. Leave her alone.
That's a really old meme. Wow.
That's like a 2003 meme right there.
It's a 1908 meme right there.
The Zust was a living meme, and it still is to this day.
All right.
Bryce, if I ever become rich enough that I can be like, who's the guy, the late night talk show host who has all the different cars? Jay Leno.
Yeah.
I want to be that guy. I'm going to see how much it costs to buy the Zust.
It's going to be a lot.
If I have the money, I can afford it.
Yeah.
And I'm going to drive it around. And pick up chicks with it. It's going to have like one of those old Ruga horns on it.
I see a hot girl. Ooga, my eyes bob out.
Yeah, exactly. Start slamming chairs and whistling. My eyes pop out and all that shit.
My tongue falls out, hits the floor.
And then it shoots back. Thing with your mouth. All right.
So this is a crime blotter. For those of you who don't know, a crime blotter is when you call 911, they have to record every single 911 call they receive. This is a compilation of some from California that they took out throughout the year, and the funniest ones they have found. These are them,
Bryce.
Yes.
So they have to mark down everything that they call. So if I call a hit and run, and I say the license plate on the car was Zust, do you think we can get that on here?
I wouldn't do that. They would arrest you for misusing it.
They wouldn't find me. I'd have the power of the Zust on my hands. I'm just going to do Zust jokes. We can't do another episode after this one.
Yeah.
We can't. I'm sorry. We'll do it next week.
I'm going to give you a choice. Remember these? From last time we did these are categorized by like what common thread.
Yeah.
Last week we did the 2 assaults.
Because we ran all out of pepper.
All right. It's from 2012. We can either do... I feel like... I want to do either animals or marital issues. What do you think?
I want to do animals.
Animals. There's a lot of animals. We can see what we can do before we wrap things up.
Okay.
Belmont. And May 22nd, 2012. A young deer prevented a resident from leaving his garage. Let me out. No. You have to pay me back.
The worst part is, you know how, that new game, Untitled Goose Game?
Yeah.
How you can lock the lady in the garage? I imagine it's something like that, but the deer's, like, holding it shut somehow.
With his antlers?
Yeah, exactly. You're not going anywhere. Like, it just wedged its head into the piece, or it broke it somehow.
He wedged his head, and he's like, this is just wide enough for you to see. I'm like, hey, Jerry, you gonna pay me back yet? You're always yelling at me for eating out of the bird feeder. Give me the...
The worst part is it says it's a young one, so that means it probably doesn't have antlers. That means it must have just been standing there, and the guy was like, I don't want to run it over. Shoo, get out of here. No, I'm good. I like where I'm at.
The sun's really nice right here.
Bryce, I went to Disney.
Gross. Yes.
Yeah. But you know how you have to take the monorail to get there? Mm-hmm. We were on the monorail back, and I just looked down at the ground. I look at stuff. We're in a cabin with kids and like their parents and old people and stuff like that, and a deer runs by, and I wasn't expecting it. So you hear me go, "Oh fuck, a deer!" And I look, and as soon as I said that, I look up. I'm all happy, and I'm like, "Oh, well, it's down there."
Did you asshole see this deer?
And I always love that because I turn around, everybody's just looking at me like, "All right, it's a deer, all right."
All right, let's go to the next one. It's from July 10th. A family and their pets were held hostage by a raccoon that entered the house with a doggy door.
That's why I don't trust doggy doors.
All right, Sharon, where's the dog food?
Yeah, exactly.
I'll use my little tiny grabby hands.
I've always, ever since I saw them like in cartoons, I've never seen a doggy door in real life. But I've always been freaked out by them because I'm like, anything can come through here.
Yeah.
Even a small, depending on the size of it, because if you have a big dog, you have a big doggy door. Yeah. It's pretty much just a, hey, you want to come in door at that point.
Hey, you want to crawl into my house?
Yeah. I know they have
I think you're able to lock it.
You can lock it.
Which is like it's a lot.
But you have to leave it unlocked while the dog's outside at that point.
Yeah, it's also a very weaker door.
Yeah, it's like a piece of like rubber. I was gonna go with rubber, depending on what you get. Like I think nowadays they're like a hard plastic where it just shuts.
Yeah.
I think also nowadays don't they have ones where like the dog collar will unlock it like a digital thing, and the dog can come in and it'll lock behind it.
That's a good idea if they don't.
I think either that's a thing or I've seen that on one of those Houses of the Future type shows. I love those shows because it's shit that you never need.
Yeah.
But it's like, I want that. Like, they had one where it was like a shower.
Yeah.
But it had like 15 different sprayers on it, so it covered your whole body. I'm like, one, you probably drown in that.
Just
all
around.
That water. Yeah, exactly. No, I mean, like, it's sprayed from all sides.
I know, I'm like, or you can just have a regular shower and just turn around.
But yeah, I was like, that's a stupid idea. I want it.
I always want to try one of those like waterfall ones that's from the ceiling.
That sounds nice.
Yeah.
So the raccoon. The worst part is
we can talk about raccoons. The next one's about raccoons too.
Not even about. I'm so upset. My sister's one of her friends at work is having like a baby shower. Mm-hmm. I went to the store with her.
Yeah.
And she was like, so what do you think I should get her? It's a boy. I saw these ones that were raccoon like onesies. I'm like, perfect. I like raccoons. She held it for like one aisle. She's like, oh, look, dinosaurs. Picked them up. She goes, which ones do you like? I like the raccoons. Well, I'm going to get the dinosaurs. I'm like, I like raccoons.
Why'd you ask me if you're not going to listen to me?
It's like, I don't like dinosaurs. Well, her kid likes dinosaurs. Well, fuck that kid. I like raccoons. They exist still. I can get one if I want it. You can't get a dinosaur. I think.
We shouldn't be able to. We've seen enough movies. But
it's not a good idea. I just realized that, okay, I'm glad my sister doesn't listen to us.
Yeah.
Because she's going to be like, you just told that kid to go fuck himself. Like, yeah. That dinosaur lover.
Fucking piece of human garbage.
Yeah. Fucking 3-month-old. Anyways,
fucking this car race lasted longer than you've been alive.
Yeah, exactly. Don't make me get the Zust.
I'll Zust and run your ass over.
Alright, this got weird.
Alright, let's end this. Let's do it the last. Hey, Derek.
Yeah.
Did you hear about this?
No, I imagine I haven't.
Did you hear about John Joseph Merlin?
No.
He's the inventor of roller skates.
Okay.
He once attempted to make a grand entrance where he rolled in to the room on roller skates, playing the violin. He ended up crashing into a giant mirror, destroying it, breaking the violin, and injuring himself. You
know what I hate about skates?
What?
You know how they have this little nub on the front of them?
Yeah.
People go, that's how you stop. It's like, no, it's not.
That's how you fucking fall.
Yeah, exactly. That's how you break something. That dude deserves to get hurt. Fucking roller skates are horrible. Bryce.
Why don't you picture this like, I have arrived.
Bryce, I got a quick roller skating story for you.
Oh, God. This is going to hurt me,
it's funny. At least to me. My church used to go roller skating.
Okay.
I can't roller skate, but I would get the roller skates. I would do it for like 5 minutes and be like, I'm done. But instead of putting my shoes on, I would just walk around with the roller skates on.
Yeah.
I tried to play a arcade racing game. I think it was like Racing California. I couldn't do it because the wheels went wide enough around the pedal that I couldn't put my foot on it. So all the cars are flying by me. I'm doing like 2 miles an hour, and I'm like, I'm trying.
I have more wheels. Why am I not going faster?
Yeah, exactly. I should be speeding down the street. I should have the power of the Zust.